Hey beautiful earthlings, welcome to the Chicken Mom vlog. I'm Madeline, this is my YouTube channel Earthlings Uncaged, and today we have something very exciting in store. I'm going to be building a miniature run on this side of the coop that's going to be used as a quarantine section if the chicken ever has to be separated. I'll explain more details as I go, hoping that this doesn't become a very hard task. I really don't have my head wrapped around how I'm going to do it. I just know like the basic vision for it, so wish me luck. My forearms and grip are so sore from doing all those T-posts, kind of starting from like a weak point, but I'm hoping that once I get moving, it'll feel okay. I can't finish their turnout area until I have this because the fence of the turnout attaches to the side of this. So we're kind of in a phase where it's like, can't finish one thing without finishing another first, and it's all kind of getting jumbled, but it'll all come together eventually. Before we really get into it, make sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date for the episodes of the Chicken Mom vlog that I have coming out every Wednesday until I'm sort of done with this chapter of expansion that I'm doing. And then I have more exciting stuff coming your way after that. Like it if you end up liking it, that helps me out and it helps attract more people to this channel so that they can get the benefits that I hope you're getting from watching my videos and being part of this community. I will show more chickens later in the episode, but we're gonna get a good chunk of this built hopefully today. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Another day, another chicken thing. Chicken Mom vlog. Back. Building a miniature run for my chicken children. Before we get to the quarantine area, let me catch y'all up real quick on the T-post situation that I put on pause in the last episode because I had to tend to Pepper's medical issue that arose, and she's doing so much better now. By the way, she's fully back to normal health and with her flock. I'm so happy and relieved about that. My mom came over to help spot me while I did these T-posts and to help put up the fencing, which was amazing to have her around. If you guys saw the last episode, I also took a tumble doing this T-post thing. It takes way more than just a couple bangs per T-post, but for the sake of editing, I just made it quicker. But this is why my arms were super sore. I could barely even lift it. Look, I was so happy to have that done and over with, and the turnout fencing area was pretty much complete. Look at how cute this is. I caught her feeding my chickens grass. There's a real tenderness that takes over when you see your children and your mom interacting. It's just a beautiful thing. Anyways, the point of this turnout is to have a space where I can separate chickens if and when needed. There's going to be a little door that leads into the inside of the coop from the mini run as well that will be separated from the rest of the inside of their coop. This year so far, I've had 3 chickens who have had to spend a considerable amount of time inside the house for various care needs, and as much as I do love having them inside, and I will still bring them in whenever needed or just for fun and extra care, having the option to separate them and keep them outside is something that will not only make it a little easier on me, especially when there's more than one at a time who needs to be separated, but will be much better for them too, so they can still have lots of outside time and space, and they aren't stuck in a cage when I'm not home or around to supervise a separate outing for them. I just realized I don't actually have the washers and the screws to attach the hardware cloth to the 2x4s, so we're not going to be able to get very far until I make a run to the hardware store. I'll see what I can do. Lowe's members save more. Do you think that'll get me sponsorship? Ooh, are you ready for this unboxing? Screws. Oh, I forgot I got the green ones. Thought it would be nice to kind of switch it up. And I figured, pretty that is. I figured usually I just have all yellow, so if I have different colors, I'll be able to tell faster the different lengths of screws. So we have a 2-inch and a 3-inch. Okay, so what can I do then? I need my measuring tape. Safety. Well, I seem to have misplaced my measuring tape. So we'll see what we can get done. Oops. Oh my gosh. Oh, my measuring tape. Once I found my measuring tape, things started to pick up. Like I said, I really didn't have a plan going into building this besides the general size and the placement of the mini run, but beyond that, I needed to visually see how to put it together in real time. It was me versus the hardware cloth for a while, but I was determined to put it in its place and show it who's boss. Full ground coverage with hardware cloth in the mini run, like my big run, to prevent any predators from being able to dig underneath. As you can see, the struggle is so real with this hardware cloth, but I will never cut corners. I will always get 19 gauge 1/2 inch hardware cloth to fully protect my chickens from predators. I was actually able to get pretty far considering I didn't even have the washers to fully attach the hardware cloth yet, and I was starting to get excited because this mini run was beginning to resemble the vision that I had in my head. Now that the outside facing side of the mini run was more or less kind of up, I was able to sort of makeshift the turnout fence enough to keep the chickens in and let them out so that they could be out in their turnout, and also obviously so they could hang out with me while I did things, because it makes things way more fun when my chickens are around me instead of when we're separated. I decided to take a break from building and to put this tarp up real quick. I got this sort of shade tarp from Amazon, where I thought it would be nice to provide a space for them where the sun wasn't quite as strong, because in this turnout section the sun does hit most areas in it throughout the day, and I wanted the run specifically to also have a bit of a shade block. The bigger full-size run is on the other side of the coop, so the coop blocks a lot of the sun and provides shade, but this mini run doesn't have that because of the placement, so I felt it was necessary. I'm also going to paint the roofing so it blocks a little bit of sun, and continue to just adjust and add as needed as we go along and as the summer comes around. I did already summer prep the larger run. If you are curious and want to check that out, I added misting systems and shade options and fans and things like that. So if you're in a hot area and you want to see how I'm planning to keep my chickens cool, that could be worth a watch. I think it's episode 2 of the Chicken Mom vlog if you're interested. I was so proud of where I ended up getting on the first day, actually just within the first few hours, because I didn't start till the afternoon time. I decided to go ahead and call it a day because I still needed to get more supplies, but this is where I got. Seeing it at this stage, I felt confident that I was going to be able to complete the build the way I wanted to, and I felt inspired and motivated to start again the next day. And this is simply proof that I don't only eat Chipotle when I'm out and about and I need food. This time it was a veggie roll and sparkling flavored water for the win. Okay, I have arrived at Lowe's. Here's what's on the list to get. We're just gonna get some paint, door hinges and latches for the run door and the mini door, and some washers and screws. Super easy in and out, which is good because I've got to get to work once I get home because there's a bunch of rain coming and I have things I need to get done before it starts raining. We're chill. We're taking a deep breath and just enjoying the day. Okay, this is where we stopped yesterday. I also put the aerial netting up in their turnout. So this is their new expanded turnout space. It's not officially done yet because I still have to attach a few things and secure a few things, but it's more or less safe for them to be in while I'm out here doing stuff. So I'm gonna let them out and see what I can get done. I know you want to hang out, but I have to do a few things. We have to do a few things before the sun sets. This little mini run conveniently opens up to this new turnout area that I've built, so I'll be able to have 2 separate turnout areas for chickens if I do have to separate them at any point. So the chickens who are being quarantined have access to this new turnout area, and the chickens who are not being quarantined have access to the other area. Or if I want to give the other turnout area a break for whatever reason, let the grass grow, I can actually have them exit their coop and run through this mini run instead of their main run, and then they'll only be out in this back turnout area. Pretty smart, right? I was super focused on getting as much done as I could, and the chickens took full advantage of that and snuck out of this little space that I still hadn't closed off. And they got out four of them. Pumpkin, Juniper, Coda, and Ari snuck out, and I had to retrieve them. Luckily, I do have a fence around the rest of my yard, and I did purposely, for this reason, because I knew it wasn't totally secure, make sure that my dog wasn't in this area of the yard either, just in case this happened. Obviously, I wasn't upset at them. Chickens are super curious and they love to explore, and they're extremely cute, so I was even just, giving them extra kisses as I put them back into their turnout area, and I squeezed through the little space that was remaining that they had snuck out through, and I just kept a better eye on it while I finished things up until I could close it off. I'm actually going to need more washers than what I thought, per usual. So I put them along the ground and in as many spots as I could, but in order for it to feel safe, I want to add some more in a few spots. I still have a few more things to wrap up, so I'm gonna do that and then call it a day. Hey, handsome. I wanted to attach the side of the roofing that was going to be harder to access once the fencing was attached, and then I also decided to go ahead and get the mulch and topsoil in to put on the floor of the run, because I did have all the washers secured there, so I could go ahead and do that. And yes, this would have been so much easier to do and put the mulch and topsoil in when there was a bigger space to put it through, and then I decided to army crawl through because for some reason that made more sense than just going around. But it was way more fun than going around, so there's that. Here's the washers and screws on the floor for the hardware cloth. Just wanted to show y'all so you know what it looks like. Super secure and super beautiful. I use organic non-dyed mulch on the ground of my runs. It's worked really well for me. Make sure if you do that, you do get the non-dyed organic kind, because you don't want anything on it that could harm them. I also used topsoil that I put in here so that they had a little extra loose dirt that they could take dust baths in. I kind of put it in the middle where I felt like it was going to get the least wet from rain, and this is what it looked like. Next, it was finally time to attach the fencing on this side of the turnout, which I had been looking forward to, so I was really excited to get that done. The one thing this quarantine system doesn't work for is if chickens need to be separated for a sickness where they can't be in the same vicinity as the rest of the flock, so the future plan would be to have a mini setup like 40 feet away or so from this setup in the yard, but that's a whole new coop and all of that, and hopefully that never really happens or rarely happens, so this felt like what I could manage right now, and it will still be a great upgrade to their space. Let me know in the comments if you have a separate space for your chickens who need extra care, or how you manage things that come up when chickens need to be separated from the rest of the flock. I'd love to hear what anybody else is doing. I was so happy to see basically the whole flock inside the mini run by choice, which means that they totally approve and they love it. All that's really left to do is to secure more of the hardware cloth on the back wall, secure the roofing, add some feeders, waterers, and add that gate, but I'm gonna do that in another episode. I feel like this was enough to squeeze in. I hope y'all had fun watching. I hope that it was informative and educational and entertaining at the very least. I am not a builder. I learned how to do this for my horses. I've built things for them, and then also just from having chickens. I honestly am so proud of myself for doing this, and I will say this mini run was like worlds easier than building the full-size run, which was a really nice surprise, and I didn't really realize how much I had actually bit off now in comparison when I was building the big run. If you want to see me build it, I have a video of my cross-country chicken setup rebuild when I moved from California to Texas and built my bigger run. I will link that at the end if you want to check it out. I love this mini run. I feel like I'm going to be hanging out here a lot because it's so cozy and kind of nostalgic. I remember as a little girl being in sort of like the A-frame little coop run things. Anyways, like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe to stay up to date with everything I have coming your way. Share it with a friend. Leave a comment. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all next Wednesday for the next episode of the Chicken Mom vlog. I know I say this every time, but the next episode is going to be a really fun one. I'm Madeline. This is Earthlings Uncaged, and I am passionate about keeping animals safe and happy.